Welcome to another episode of Crosstalk. My name is Kevin Tocci, and I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. As you have come to expect from, I think this particular program is we do our best to try to do things that will best inform and represent the two communities that we serve, the towns of Whitman and Hanson, whether it's upcoming events, whether it's issues that the towns are dealing with, maybe just meet somebody, or something that's going on in the South Shore, just to kind of again inform residents of the two towns. We do a lot of political stuff. You'll start seeing that next year as we see a lot of different races, whether it's folks running for office in the towns or on the state level. And then, as I said a couple of moments ago, events. And we got, tis the season. It's that time of year. And we thought it was a perfect opportunity to welcome in my guest, Mr. Donnie Westhaver. Donnie is no stranger to the town of Whitman. Donnie.
Kevin.
Welcome to Crosstalk. And the purpose that we have Donnie here is to talk a little bit about something that he and some of his minion work on. Almost, we talk about it now like it's just starting, but Donnie and a lot of the folks behind the scenes who help make this happen, and he'll explain that to you, have put on a toy drive for the Whitman area. And we had a chance to do something with him. We took our cameras to the pavilion down at the VFW last year and thought that this year we wouldn't put Donnie through having a tour through all those toys, and we would talk to him. First and foremost, how did you get the Whitman Area Toy Drive going? What was the genesis of that?
2001, I was on the American Legion post that I belonged to, and we were watching a program on TV for the Toys for Tots program. They were explaining they were in dire need of toys that particular year, and things were looking bleak. The people that were asking for toys were off the roof, or through the ceiling, as they would say, and that Toys for Tots through the Marine Corps did not take care of the South Shore area because they didn't have a Marine Corps Reserve unit to do that. So we thought that why don't we do something for our own community? So I talked to a few of the members down there. We put something together very quick right around Thanksgiving of 2001 to raise money and toys and to put it out in our own community, see if we can help some of the families that were in desperate need. We did that. Within that month's time, we raised somewhere around $1,700, I believe. My memory serves me correctly, and about 2 full boxes of toys. That was the beginning of something that is now big. We changed it from the Toys for Tots program because we couldn't give to this community for Toys for Tots to the Whitman Area Toy Drive. So Whitman Area Toy Drive picks up where Toys for Tots cannot. And the second year, we had more money, more sponsors, more toys. Here we are in our 14th year. We went from 2 tables full of toys the first year to about 35 or 40 10-foot tables full of toys that will fill up and go down probably 2 or 3 times between now and Christmas.
I have to say that it's impressive. I had an opportunity, I had the privilege last year to come down and take a look. You and Jane, who is one of the folks that I know that was there kind of in the back. She didn't want to be on camera, but she's one of the many who help out and make this thing tick. Mm-hmm. And it was impressive how you guys not only had things laid out, but it was according to age, it was according to gender and different things, and some of the popular things. And if it was sporting stuff, or a certain type of popular toy, or a game. And you guys really put a lot of thought in it. It was impressive for something that, again, has been growing over 14 years. What are some of the things that you have learned over the decade and a half that you've been doing this, and that you're continuing to learn as you do it?
Yeah, all the above. We've learned that, first of all, there are a lot of people out there, it could be your next door neighbor, you may not even know it, that are desperate or destitute. People losing their jobs left and right, we know that. Some people are hurt physically, can't work anymore, so they're fixed on limited income. You mentioned Jane helped me out on the toy drive for the last 4 years. You saw her last year with us. My other two partners are Jacqueline Nosey from Marcello's and Jim McDonald from Essex Street Storage Shed, and also Nosh Tavern in Plymouth, were my other two partners. You don't hear their name often because they're my silent guys. They have businesses, and obviously, if people are going to call up looking for toys or anything, they just talk to me or Jane. I try to keep them away from calling my partners do have businesses, so I don't want that to interfere. So we find it runs a lot more smoothly if they just go through me and other people. Jim and Jack are in the background doing all the other work that I can't do because I'm busy doing this particular end of the job. In 14 years, I've learned that giving back is a lot better than receiving, at least in my book. And I believe my partners feel the same way. Mm-hmm. And everybody that we've helped over the years that are now back on their feet have given back to the toy drive. That is amazing. The town of Whitman is amazing. Social media, this here show here, Facebook, any media that's out there that is willing to listen to us and listen to our pleas have responded. And if it wasn't for them, I don't think we could do what we do now. At least not to the extent of what we do now, with this toy drive. It's something that makes me feel very humble. And at the end of the year, December, I can tell you honestly, sleep good in December. One of my favorite months of the year, actually, on top of doing what we do. But I could go on forever, Kev. I don't want to do that, but there's a lot of things we have learned. I've learned a lot of do's and don'ts, a lot more do's than don'ts. Okay.
And when do you officially, as I kind of explained, I realize that there's usually always some, folks may kind of assume that, the organization and that whether you're putting the boxes out or you're doing the collections may start, somewhere later in the fall, and not necessarily realize that you guys are always thinking year round, and if you're not doing little events to try to generate dollars, so, there's an outline that you guys kind of stick to, and when you generate enough money, then you go to the next step of the process.
Right. Well, I think what we're doing now is we're starting to think outside of the box more. What's happened over the years is we've had a lot of corporate business jump on. They realize that we are a force to be reckoned with, that we are who we say we are. We do what we say we do. Franklin Sporting Goods, fantastic people. Five Below for games. Chris and Nelson Ross through Reebok. Now we're giving out beautiful clothes, brand new clothes. It just doesn't stop at toys anymore. We got clothes, we got food certificates that we give out. One of our adages is you can't eat a toy, and they need a meal for Christmas also. So we try to provide that for them, and we try to pick up where maybe the food pantry cannot, with some of the other goods, in other words, some perishables. Maybe we'll give them a certificate to go to the grocery stores and fill in the spots where the food pantry can't. There's so many that have done this now and that have jumped on, that want to jump on. Frito-Lay, for instance, a friend of mine works for them. They want to know what they can do. I could go on and on and on, but just the businesses in towns. It's gotten so big, Kev, now that I welcome the families to come down. We don't stop at one or two toys. There's almost a one-stop shopping for them when they come down to the toy drive. We'll even give them wrapping paper and tape, so they can walk out there knowing that their whole Christmas has been taken care of. If they need a tree, sometimes we get artificial trees. We'll give them a tree, we'll give them lights and ornaments. So we try to make their whole Christmas complete if we can do that. Some people only ask for two toys and say, that's fine, that's good with them. I would like to get to a point where we could actually perform a wish list, where we can ask the people, what is the favorite toy that your son or your daughter wants? And if we don't have that, and I have enough certificates, I'll go out and I'll buy that. So when they come down for the toys, I'm going to hand that to them.
I know you say that this thing is growing leaps and bounds, and that it's grown to the point where you have bigger organizations that are willing to lend a hand, but you still seek the help of the residents in the area, and you do that via, I believe that you put out donation boxes, and you ask folks to donate, and everything they donate, basically it's something that some unfortunate family who may not have money, as you've explained, that are in need, are able to come and at least enjoy the holidays.
Absolutely. I mean, we have, this year alone, we've had 7 new drop-off spots. I don't know if you'd like me to mention.
Feel free to, if you would, yeah. And actually at the end, let's also make sure we remind the folks at home who are watching where they can, if they are looking for, I'm always looking for ways to donate and give back to the community. There are a lot of people who are community-minded out there who would like to participate. So we'll do it now, and then towards the end of the show, if you could repeat it, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, the drop-off spots that we have confirmed for this year would be obviously the VFW in Whitman and our pavilion out back. We'll have a box down below. We haven't put the boxes out yet. We are in the process of getting them ready for distribution. Obviously, Marcelo's Sub Shop right here in town. Sorry for reading into so many of them here. I don't want to leave anybody out.
Take your time.
O'Rourke Insurance, Joe Goldsberry on Church Street, Duvall's Pharmacy, McGuigan's Pub, Whitman American Legion Post 22, Damien's Pub in Hanson. Both Whitman Mutual Bank branches on Washington Street and Bedford Street, Rockland Trust in Whitman, Dancer's Dream, they're located at 597 Washington Street, in case people don't know that. And I believe that's it. I hope I'm not leaving anything out. If I do,
Don't forget, at the end of the program, before we wrap up,
yeah,
I'll ask you to remind folks where they can find those donation boxes. I guess I would ask is, what do you see? Is there a particular type of toy or item, and is there a particular age group that you seem to not get enough items, or that you can't get enough of those items?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, year after year, actually. It's the ages of 9, 10, right up to, we say tweens, 13, even 14. In some cases, if there's a 15-year-old that's still living at home with mom, we try to provide more like a sporting good for them. Hopefully that's what they're into. If not, that's where the monetary monies that we raise come in handy to buy these certificates at Walmart. And people, speaking of the residents helping out, a lot of residents have given us gift certificates for the malls, different things like that. Those are given out to certain people if the criteria fits the means. The toys that we seem to be, that we flourish in is anywhere from infants up to 9, like I said. Okay. So yeah, I would say the 9s, 10s, right up to 13, that's where we really, really hurt. This year, I think the toys that they're looking for, I mean, Legos are still a big thing. I guess Frozen is still big right now, so if anybody's looking to donate anything in particular, those are the areas we'd like to see.
Disney products.
Disney products, exactly.
Like
there you go.
The Frozen movie. Yep.
Yeah. And board games are pretty good. We go to Five Below, like I said, we try to spend a lot of money there and fill up the board game tables for them. That's something that's actually in addition to their toys. If they come in looking for a couple of toys, we give it to them. We send them down to the board game table. Okay. And if that doesn't work, the sports, like you said, we're multifaceted down there right now, and it's pretty systematic.
Okay. Do you have a surplus of something that seems like you have a bunch of it, you keep getting it, and you can't give it away? That it's like maybe you have enough of something that you're like, oh yeah, we're all set with these. They're not something that's overly desired, or is it you'll take everything and anything? Yeah,
we'll take anything and everything. But if you talk about the over-desired part, I would say stuffed animals. We seem to really be flourishing in them year after year. So much so that sometimes we'll take some of those and give them to the Children's Hospital if we have an abundance of something. And I'm sure the people that donate them won't mind, because it's still going to a common good cause. And dolls still a big thing with girls even today, you know. But we have a lot of things that people are into today that are much different than you and I growing up and wanting a fire engine.
You mean the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip? They don't want that anymore?
No, they don't.
No,
they don't. But that's. Again, I think we'd look for the top 20 to 40 toys. We go on those sites. Minions, I guess, is a big thing this year.
Sure.
So we'll be doing that. Again, Monopolies, the big games are always the good games. We flourish a lot in the Candyland toy things. We usually have tons of those also. So again, we're trying to get more geared to the 9s and even adults, because we want the kids to be able to play with the parents too, and we want them to have a good time.
Sure.
Also.
How many hours would you say you and your group put in during right now, the height? This, I know that you're really churning it out. How many hours a week do you find yourselves going out, collecting the toys on a regular basis, organizing, start fielding calls.
Well, if you look at it this way, I mean, where we're starting earlier this year than we normally start, because we got a good head start on it this year. We had a lot of toys given to us late at the end of last year, which gave us a great start this year, which affords us to get out there 2 or 3 weeks earlier to give those toys out rather than the second or third week in December.
Sure.
And trying to cram all those families in. We make it more personal now. They can come in a little bit earlier now and not overlap with other people and take their time and look for things. We work, now that I'm retired, it's a full-time job for me, 12 months out of the year, and I'm okay with that. But the other people that are involved with me, my committee and my auxiliary unit now at the VFW have jumped on the last couple of years. They've become a real big force to reckon with. I'm also the president of the auxiliary unit here in Whitman, VFW, and they have come full circle with me on this and realized needs as well as other needs. So now it's not just toys anymore. We're doing wheelchair ramps for people. We're giving thousands of dollars out to the food pantries on other things that we do, fundraisers during the year. So now we decided to combine our efforts and make it a total 100% go get them, and take care of these people.
I guess I would ask you, of all the people that you've interacted with, is there one particular instance or time that you've interacted with a family or a family member that has been overcome, with the receiving, or being able, knowing that, that the holiday isn't going to be one that's, going without?
Yeah. For me, let me say one thing. I am a perfect example of grown men do cry, and I'll tell you why.
Big teddy bear, huh?
Yeah. When they come down and they're overwhelmed when they see what we have, because I don't think they expect to see what we have, as you well know, and you know what we have down there. And that sometimes we can fulfill their wishes. There is something there that they were looking for that they didn't think they can have. And if there's nothing there, or if there is something that they don't see that they really want, a wish list, if I can provide that, if my group can do that, we'll do that. We'll do that through the gift certificates. Here's a gift certificate, or we'll go out and buy it, maybe before we have them come down for their appointments. And when they come in, I let them know. I try to make them as comfortable as possible. This is not, your name's not going to be in the paper that I took care of you. It's totally discreet. It's honest. We're going to take care of your family needs as much as we can. And if we can't take care of your needs, we're going to point you in the right direction. There are other organizations out there that said, Don, if you can't do this, send them here. And I work in conjunction with the other towns, Abington, Hanson, Rockland. They have toy drives. They know that if they run low on toys at the end of the year, they can call me up, or they'll say, Don, and vice versa. They may have somebody from Whitman that may go over there and not know that we have a toy drive here. And they'll say, go over to Whitman Area Toy Drive. And so we kind of work off each other. We bounce off each other, and found out that it's much easier that way for both of us, for all the communities concerned. And we're not running low on things. We sort of, if that bucket gets empty, fill it up a little bit more, and it's another gratifying thing, I guess, for our drive, Now,
you recently just had a call to arms. I believe that you had all the folks down at the pavilion, and I think I saw a picture on social media with you. We are all gathered.
Yeah.
And there's a number of people. I honestly, I lost count. It's kind of hard. There's so many people, and you can see all the tables in front.
Right.
Talk to me about the gathering.
Yeah, well, again, I went on social media explaining what the story is, the situation is, and how we need the help setting these things up, and how, if to strengthen numbers, if we can get down there and the more people we have. And I actually promised people, you'll be out of there within an hour if we get the group that we're looking for. Every year we have more and more people aboard. Last year I think there was 60 to 80. This year I'm going to say 80 to 100. We had Dance's Dream, Laurie's Dance Dimension sent all their girls and guys and gals, rather, I don't want to leave them out either, came down in the shirts, Dance Dimension, saying, okay, what do we do? So I explained to everybody what the toy drive was all about, just like I did here, what we do and the reason why we do it. And I think we enlightened a lot of youngsters this time, they actually see what's going on, and they really get into it. We had the toys on the table in 25 minutes. We actually timed it. Somebody said, when I said go, they went. They took the boxes, which made it easy because all the boxes are by gender, age and gender. So it's not like they really have to look at a toy and say, well, this is a boy, 3 to 6.
Stuff up.
Right. So they were able to go, and we fill those tables up. So yeah, we had hot chocolate for them and donuts and refreshments, for them during and after. People were there Sunday that actually handed me checks or handed me money. The Auxiliary, for instance, were very generous. People at large. This is how we start the whole program off. It starts off on a good note like this. We go out, and now what we'll do now is we'll take an inventory of what we have, and it's what we don't have is what we'll go out now, and we'll fill those tables up. So we're going to even ourselves gear toward the 10s and 13s and 14-year-olds this year, because we know the drop-off boxes will be fluent with the infants to 9 or 10 years old. That's how that works.
Again, we are speaking with Donnie Westhaver, who is one of a number of folks who are part of the Whitman Area Toy Drive, an annual toy drive born out of the Toys for Tots, the need for toys for the area. I guess I would ask you is, if folks wanted to get in touch with you, whether they wanted to give a donation,
sure,
whether it's toys or monetary, or if they are already looking, they're forecasting, it's going to be a tough Christmas, and they want to at least kind of get in early and say, listen, I'm already kind of trying to decide what's going on for Christmas. How can they get in touch with you?
Well, I have an answering machine at home. The best thing to do is to call that. The number is 781-447-6883. And right after the message, they'll hear my wife's voice on there. I left her on there as a greeting. And they can leave their name, their number, and if they want to give me a brief description of how many children they have, it makes it easy for me to put it down in a book.
Sure.
So when I call them, I'm already a little bit ahead of the game there. They could do it that way. They can call the VFW also.
How about as far as the digital friendly folks? How about those who might want to shoot you off an email? How can they do that?
They can, west151@aol.com is my website. They can visit my Facebook page. There's 2 pages.
Do they just look for Donnie Westhaver?
Look for Donnie Westhaver. And they can also look at the Whitman Area Toy Drive. I have 2 web pages. One is my personal one.
You have a page on
Yep.
Facebook.
And they can do it either way. I mean, if they want to message me on Facebook, feel free to do that. You want to go on to the Whitman Area Toy Drive page and see some of the upcoming events that we have coming up and what we're into.
Sure.
They can also do that. Or they can call the house number that I just gave also. There's several ways of getting in touch with me.
What are you doing this year as far as events? Now, without giving any dates or anything, because folks can always just check
Sure.
the Facebook page.
Yeah, we've got a nice show that will be coming up shortly. It's an Elvis impersonator, Johnny Cash impersonator.
Thank you very much.
December, without giving dates,
Yeah.
early in December, I am going to have Pictures with Santa Claus also down at the Pavilion,
Okay.
where I guess we don't have Winterfest anymore in town. Maybe we can pick up a little slack from that,
Okay.
and people would like to have their pictures taken, their children's pictures taken with Santa. We're going to have a nice little Christmas theme down at the Pavilion, down at the back end, where they can take pictures.
So it's going to be, folks want to find information about whether it's the Elvis impersonator.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Or if they want to get involved with Santa Claus, they just have to look for the Whitman Area Toy Drive on Facebook. Just kind of search for it.
Yep, just search for it, and search on the page, because I'm constantly putting it on there. And I tell people, I feel like I have to apologize because I'm bombarding people this time of year with all the information, but
Sure.
there's a reason for it, and everybody pretty much understands that reason. But I will post on my Facebook page and all those other sites all the events that are coming up, including up to Santa Claus and anything that may come in between it. And will be coming up in springtime and summertime. We have a lot of events also planned for that. Family events, events for senior citizens. I'm going to have a dinner for them also, just to show our appreciation for the town of Whitman and its inhabitants.
We got about 5 minutes left, if not a little bit less.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an opportunity once again to read off the drop boxes. If there is somebody out there who is watching at home,
Yeah.
who might want to donate a toy. Now, do you want them to donate an unwrapped toy?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct, and preferably new. A lot of people have some used toys they like to donate. You know, sometimes they're just as good as new, and we will take them. We'll go through them. If there's any safety or danger or hazard, obviously we won't put them on the table, and people would understand that, I would hope. And would you like me to read off the drop-off box?
I think I would, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was anticipating that.
Okay. All right. Drop-off boxes, again, the Whitman VFW our pavilion when it's open. If you see the doors open, we're out there. Marcello's Sub Shop here in Whitman. O'Rourke Insurance of South Ave. Joe Goldsberry Photography on Church Street. Duvall's Pharmacy, McGuigan's Pub. Whitman American Legion Post 22 on Legion Parkway. Damien's Pub in Hanson. Both Whitman Mutual Banks in town here, one on Bedford Street, one on Washington Street. Rockland Trust also. Dance's Dream on 597 Washington Street in Whitman. And Dance Dimension at 200 Essex Street. Or you can call me for a pickup. I mean, if you can't get to these places, we have enough people that are willing to pick the toys up, or any monetary donations, anything that you wish to give.
Phone number? Give it again.
781.
So we can key it like we're doing now.
781-447-6883. Again, leave a message. I will guarantee I will get back with you. I will call you back.
Anything that we haven't talked about or mentioned? I mean, we've got just a couple of moments left here. Anything that we haven't brought up, I haven't asked you, but you kind of feel is important to the conversation we're holding here today?
I think we pretty much covered it. If I had to tell you everything, the show would be a couple hours long, Kev. And
okay.
So, but
I don't have a problem with that. That's what we're here for.
I get it, and I really appreciate you asking that. And I'd love to be able to do another show with some of the other events that we do have coming up with you in the near future. But
I talk to the guy who's directing. That's Paul. That's his job.
Okay. And what I do want to do is I do want to thank the people of Whitman. I want to thank the residents for helping the way they have. I want to thank all the kids that helped Sunday. I want to thank everybody that has donated in the past and they're donating now. And there are some big donations coming in that I'd like to, in the future, let people in this town know who those people are that have helped Whitman in general and the surrounding towns in our efforts to supply a good Christmas, a happy Christmas for families. And
I know we call it the Whitman Area Toy Drive. Have you had anybody from other communities come and see you? And you're willing, but there's a certain point where you're like, oh, this is for like Whitman
sure.
and Hanson and maybe Abington, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a tri-town event per se, but the other towns, Hanson, Abington, and Rockland, they do have their own toy drives.
Okay.
And they try to take care of their people, but they know enough, just as we do, if they run short on toys, they can always call and say, Don, do you have any toys? And we set them down. Yeah, come on down.
Well, I want to wish you and the gang the best of luck.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you for what you do, and thank you for what the group does to give to those who are in need. That's what community is about, is the act of giving back and helping each other. And I think that if the world practiced that more, I think it would be a better place. So I want to thank you, Donnie, for joining us.
Oh.
And I want to thank you at home for tuning in. And you know, if there is a conversation, if there is something that you feel that needs to be discussed or talked about, you can always drop us a line at WHCA television@gmail.com and address it to Crosstalk, and give us the ideas, things that you want to see us talking about here in the future. For Mr. Donnie Westhaver and Paul Watson, I'm Kevin Tocci. Have a great day.